Hope you made the most of the 80-degree day because our temperatures are about to get cut in half, from warm weather to the chance of snow to start the day.
Danielle, spring sprung. Now it's going to bounce back.
Absolutely. And it's going to feel like winter in some areas too, you guys. Up into the high country, we're bracing for possibly upwards of a foot of new snow. Tonight, I'm watching a cold front that's going to be pushing across Colorado. That's what drops our temperatures. Back behind it, the heavy mountain snow and possibly a rain-snow mix here for the Denver area. Tomorrow, much cooler than what we saw today. Already the first signs of this system pushing into the state. A little rain, a little snowfall just beginning to creep in across the western slope through the flat tops. Some snowfall starting to file in, and that will only increase overnight into tomorrow morning. Keep that in mind if you have an early morning drive heading up to the high country. That's when we are expecting the winter weather advisories to kind of kick in at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Overall, about 4 to 10 inches northern mountains through the I-70 mountain corridor, and then further to the south, 6 to 12 for the San Juans. Wow, a big time spring storm. 60 still across the metro area. We're waiting on that cold front. We're in the upper 30s, 40s off to the northeastern side of the state. 20s, however, in Rock Springs, and that cooler air will settle in overnight into tomorrow. As we look ahead, the mountains really bracing for some nice powder. Once again, great news as far as the snowpack numbers go. And then looking ahead toward the weekend, when do we clear out? How much snowfall will the Denver area get? I have those answers and more when I see you in about 10 minutes.
All right. Thank you, Danielle. Parents got a chance to ask questions directly of school leaders at Loveland High tonight after an incident at that school last month that left some families saying they were scared and confused. Teachers up and left the school building after a threat that was deemed non-credible. In the end, the principal was put on leave. 9 News reporter Jennifer Meckles was at tonight's meeting.
About 2 weeks ago here at Loveland High School on March 29th, there was a safe-to-tell tip about a possible school shooting. That tip came in early in the morning. Law enforcement in the district were able to very quickly, within minutes, figure out that it was not credible. But the communication that followed between the district and the staff and families, parents tonight said that was chaotic. The principal at Loveland High School, Michael James, started tonight's meeting with parents with an apology. He, along with district leaders and law enforcement, took questions from a crowd. There was a couple dozen parents here tonight. Questions about how they suss out the credibility of a threat, what teachers were told that day and when they were told it, and how the district will promise to communicate better moving forward. I gotta say though, guys, I cover a lot of public meetings, a lot of education meetings, and this one really stands out because, so this was Q&A style, and not only did district leadership attempt to actually answer questions that were asked of them directly, but it seems like the crowd, broadly speaking, really appeared to leave tonight having said what they wanted to say and mostly hearing information that they felt they needed to hear.
I feel much better about most things. I will be looking forward to seeing what kind of training takes place with the staff as far as what are they going to do the next time any kind of threat, whether it's credible or not. Because even more important, it's going to happen. But even more importantly, when that threat becomes credible, it's going to be even more important that people are not trying to figure out what do I do in a moment of fear.
I also saw a lot of support tonight for the principal of Loveland High School, Michael James. Remember, he had been put on leave during an investigation about what happened that day, but he was brought back to the school as of this week, and parents here tonight broadly were very supportive of him staying on the job. One parent also asked if there would be any discipline for the teachers that walked out that day, and the district said they can't talk about specific personnel matters. Reporting in Loveland, Jennifer Meckles, 9 News.
Parts of the Coors Brewery in Golden had to evacuate today because of an acid spill inside. It could take days to clean up. Fairmount Fire Department says they got a report of a sulfuric acid leak at the canning facility this afternoon. Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says it was a chemical used in the canning process that leaked out of the container it was in. They evacuated the entire canning facility, which is about a mile from the main brewery building. No one was hurt. Hazmat crews are still trying to figure out how bad the spill is and how to clean it up. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says it could take days for the building itself to reopen. The road at 32nd and McIntyre is closed during the cleanup. The last home game before the playoffs, and the Avalanche won 4-2. But just before the game, we learned that they will have to defend their Stanley Cup championship without their captain.
The team says that Gabriel Landeskog's knee injury is going to keep him out of the playoffs. This is quite the blow. Our Ariel Arsudo's out at Ball Arena tonight, and Ariel Avs made it. They made it to the playoffs without Landy. How far do we suppose they can make it into playoffs without him?
I mean, they could go as far as they choose to go, but it's obviously a luxury to have a veteran player like him. He produced 22 points in 20 postseason games last year on an injured knee, albeit. But it's what he did off of the ice. He's such a leader. He had such an impact on all of the guys in the locker room. So I actually asked him how the guys in the locker room had an impact on him this year and on his mental health.
And even though you're not necessarily inside that locker room on a daily basis, you still feel like a part of the team, and I think that's important moving forward as well. And those guys are amazing hockey players over there, but not only that, they're quality people and good friends of mine, and they have most definitely helped me throughout this journey, and I'll continue to lean on them moving forward.
You know, the team got a crucial win tonight that keeps them on pace atop the Central Division, yet the only talk post-game in the locker room was about 92. I'll have the thoughts from the players coming up tonight in sports, guys.
Believe it. All right. Thanks, Ariel. Denver says it's not getting enough money to support migrants on the scale that they have been for months. So starting next month, the city is only going to offer shelter and services to people who have started working with immigration officials. The city says it's spent nearly $13 million helping migrants who have arrived in the city since December. The city supported more than 6,400 people, first in emergency shelters at rec centers, and now a lot of hotel rooms. A few dozen people are still arriving each day, with just under 700 in the shelters run by the city and its nonprofit partners. The city says it needs federal money to help out, but that funding can only be used to help people who are known to immigration officials. The city says it would still like to help migrants arriving in the city who aren't eligible for shelters by connecting them with other services. The new rules kick in May 8th.
An 11-year-old Denver charter school student is facing 2 felony charges for bringing a weapon to school last week. Parents were never notified that it happened. We only learned about it through a public records request. Because it's a juvenile criminal case, a lot of the details are still confidential. But multiple sources tell us the student is accused of bringing a knife to school. And the student's actually charged with felony menacing and possession of a weapon on school grounds, both felonies. Anytime a student is arrested and charged with a crime, the DA sends a letter to the school district. In this case, it happened inside a DSST charter school, Green Valley Ranch Middle School. Denver Public Schools authorizes the charter, so DPS got that notification. Spokeswoman for the charter told us they did not notify parents. Through those prosecutors' letters, we've learned that 10 DPS students have been charged with possessing a weapon at school since the start of the school year. And the district says 86 knives and 13 guns were recovered in its schools last school year.
It could not have felt like a normal day at Eagle Crest High School. Most students returned to deep, clean classrooms after 2 special needs educators died over the weekend, one suffering symptoms of a rare infection. 9 News reporter Cole Sullivan has the latest on the suspected bacterial meningitis case.
From the air, Eagle Crest High looks the same. Students play after school lacrosse or walk home with their backpacks. But inside the classrooms, it did not feel the same.
I didn't really know what exactly it was, but I was just in biology class and my teacher was explaining it to us.
Vinny Rodriguez and others at Eagle Crest High learned about a rare infection this week after bacterial meningitis is suspected of killing one of their teachers.
So I'm just kind of anxious about being there.
The district canceled class Wednesday. They did a deep clean too. When Vinny's mom found out one teacher had symptoms of bacterial meningitis, she was shocked.
I didn't want it coming home in my family either because I do have a young baby at home as well.
She knows better than most how dangerous this infection can be. Her older brother lost his hearing when he had it as an infant.
It was a very big impact. He's still struggling today, just dealing with his life as a hearing impaired person.
That story didn't help Vinny's anxiety in returning to class.
I'm absolutely horrified of getting any sort of thing like that, and I'm scared that my friends would have it.
The Arapahoe County Health Department says it's finished contact tracing, and the district says a normal number of students attended class Thursday, now with one more concern on their minds.
But I just feel that these kids have been through so much already, and here's another thing to add on.
The district says about 50 students who are in the special needs program will not have classes for the rest of the week. That is a small number in a school of more than 3,000 kids. The health department says this is the only possible case of this infection that it knows of so far. We still don't know what caused the other special education staffer's death.
It's that uncertainty that really gets to you.
Well, and you heard it from those parents too, concern. They've received letters from the school district that kind of tell them what symptoms to be on the lookout for, and also letters that help them understand what they need to do to help comfort their students during this time.
Yeah, they'll need it. Thanks, Cole.
We need to evaluate things together as one piece instead of individually and separately.
Fire danger still exists outside of red flag warning days. Meteorologists want to make that more clear to Coloradans.
Now, like, follow in her steps, become a great astronaut, do great things.
Walk these Louisville Middle School halls is inspiring the next generation of space explorers.
These faster baseball games mean less drinking time, so the Rockies are expanding service hours.